Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm Stefania. Today I'm gonna show you this little one. It's a video that I would say it's a little bit different from my other videos. It's not about my bullet journal and it's not even about my reading journal, but it's a flip through. I said by the end of the year that in my bullet journal I would have stopped creating a tracker for money, and that's because I would have moved everything in a new notebook, and this is that notebook. This one is gonna be all about money. You can call it however you want. You want to call it budget planner, call it like that. You want to call it budget journal, call it like that. Call it in the way that you want to call it. I don't care, because the important is that we're gonna go through it, and I hope that it can be an example for someone who wants to create something like this as well. I wasn't sure if you would have been interested in seeing this one or not, but someone contacted me on Instagram and asked if I could, and I thought, why not? The first thing is the cover page. What you're gonna understand from this notebook is that there isn't a real theme. Like, the only theme is basically that I'm using a washi tape throughout each single month, and the title are made in this way, so with craft paper. It's nothing complicated. I don't use stickers, I use nothing else. I just use washi tapes to put a little bit of colors, let's say, around the pages, but nothing else. And that's because this one doesn't have to be cool, doesn't have to be lovely to look at. It has to be functional. That's the main reason why I've created it. And so it's not gonna be anything wow, it's gonna be quite easy and simple. Why I've decided to go with this type of planner and not with a normal notebook is because it's the first year in which I'm actually creating something like this, and I wasn't sure on how to put everything. Then I also thought that I might need to have some pages that could, let's say, move throughout the notebook, and so I've decided to use this one. I've basically printed the dots on normal paper because I had quite enough paper at home. I didn't want to buy them already made, and I'm weird, so there's not another reason. But you can find for sure, because I know they are even on Amazon, and I think that Amazon is everywhere in every country, so even in yours there are some already made paper with dots for this. You'll also see that some pages have some post-it here and there, and that's for privacy reasons. I think there's no need to explain that there were some parts that I didn't want to show. Some of them because they have names, some others because are really personal or things like that. And you're also gonna find out that some pages aren't fully filled in already, because for the same reason I didn't want to show them, let's say, after pen. I think we can go through the whole thing, and then if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in a comment. The first pages are these two. They quite have got together. It's the same thing, but at the same time it's a little bit different. Basically, on this page, which is already filled in, you can see that there are, I'm sorry, I'm saying you can see, but I've written everything in Italian, of course. But basically there is a list of things that I know will have to pay for throughout the whole year, and they have the same price throughout the whole year. For example, I know that Netflix is €7.99, and I pay that each single month, so I'll just have the total of how much I'll have to pay, for example, for Netflix in the whole year. Same goes for internet or Amazon Prime and other things. This page, which is not filled in yet, is quite the same thing. However, we're not talking about something that I can know the price right now. Like, it's not something that has the same price every single time I have to pay for that thing. Or maybe it's something that has the same price, but I don't know how many times I'll have to do it throughout the year. So this one will be me predicting how much money I'll need throughout the whole year for certain things, such as the light bills or gas bills. They are for sure unpredictable. Like I can use the last few ones from 2022 to have an idea, but especially nowadays it's quite a little bit hard. And then there are other things that, as I've previously said, I know how much they are or can have a very little variation, but they're not like a specific price, so I didn't put them in this page for that reason. This one however still to be filled in. Then I have a page for when I have to pay and what. I'll make an example. I still have to fill in this one because I'm not so sure about the structure. Like I like the structure, but I don't like how I see it, because I don't like having the name of whatever it is up here and then having an empty thing here. I don't know, I wanted to add some color, but then I haven't, I don't know. Anyway, basically what I'm gonna do is here there are the months, and here are all the things that I'm expecting to have to pay, and I'm just gonna color every single time I know I have to pay them. I'll make an example. The light bills, I get them every single month, so I'll basically color each single month, while the gas bill, that one arrives every 2 months. So for example, January, because in January I'll get the one for November and December, and then in March I'll get January and February, and so basically I'll only color January, March, May, and so goes on. In this way I can look at this page and have an idea of when I'll have to pay what. It's pretty simple. It's not a detailed thing, but it's mainly to have a look at it and to know. There are a few things and they happen every month, so they're gonna be fully colored. Others every 2 months, and then there are others which happens twice a year or 3 times a year, and so goes on. So basically that's why I wanted this one, just to have an idea, to be like, okay, what I have this month, or in which month I have more things to pay, I would say in this way. The next page is, I will call it an outcome page. So basically here I'm gonna write how much I've spent each single month. Here there are the months, and here I've divided in this way. I'm gonna have bills, so how much I spent for bills, how much for subscriptions, how much in physical stores, and how much on online stores, and then I'll just have the total, so how much I spent the whole month. This is not a detailed one because I have something with more details in each single month, so I didn't need it here. And this is the last page for the, let's say, yearly pages, where basically I'm gonna write how much money I have already on the first day of the year, so the 1st of January, for all the things that I'm saving. And here I'll put how much I have on the 31st of December. So the title later says 365 days after. I do this because I really save money and I really consider saving them, already thinking about what I'll use the money for. I don't know if it makes sense, but I don't like to just take a bunch of money and put it there and be like, okay, that's it, I'll use it for whatever is gonna come out. No, I like to already set the things divided, because I need to know how much I'm saving for each single thing, because that's what works the best for me. Probably for someone else it works better in another way. So again, I've done something that was created for me, so something that fits me perfectly. Then I have January, and I'll just show you January because all the months will be the same, I think, because if it's gonna work pretty well, I'll keep on using the same thing throughout the whole year. Maybe I need to add something more, I'll be able to do it, and so I can show you one month to have an idea. I have a simple monthly view where I basically write nothing, but because I needed to have a calendar to see. And then next to the monthly page, because these are the 2 pages that I have all together for all the months. Now I have January here, but before I had them all here from January till December, so I had all the calendar ready and the empty page next to it, because what basically right here is what I have to pay this month. And so I'll make a list of all the things that, as I said, and what basically I'm gonna write here is the details about what I have to pay, the how date, so when I have to pay basically, and the payment. So if I've done the payment, I'll just put the payment with the date and a space for notes. So for example, to write down if I paid with a credit card, if yes, which one, or if I paid by cash. I mean, it was mainly to have something there needed. It's mainly there to know where I took the money from, if it kind of makes sense. I don't know how to explain honestly, but how I paid it basically. And to write these things, I have a lonely stamps that I found out, and I really wanted to use it, and so that's why I absolutely started using it, and I love it. I've noticed that for this I can write and leave one empty space between one thing and the other, and I have enough space because there shouldn't be a single month in which I have so many things to write. I hope so. If I do, I'll worry about it another moment. For example, here you can see the first one was a light bill that I get in December, and that's why I paid already in December, but was the due date was in January, that's why it's here. Then I have these two pages, which is I'm gonna try to translate the title, which is less is better than nothing. And basically I have all the things that I save money for in this part here, and every single time I'm gonna put like 10 euros in that one. I'll just color out the square. I've decided to go with 10 euros, it's a square and that's it. However, then I will eventually write with my pen the exact number on top of it, just to be sure. So here I will be able to see how much I put away that month. Then I have this one which is still empty, which is like the same one as this one, but it's about the month. So I will write how much I have at the beginning of the month and how much at the end. What's the difference between this page and this one? It's quite simple. With this one I see how much I put away in the month. This one instead is gonna tell me that on the 1st of January I have, for example, let's make an example, 10 euros for, let's take one randomly, for the light bill, and then at the end of the month I'll probably have 100 euros. This tells me how much that changed it, but not how much I have actually saved, because maybe I've put away, let's pretend 200 euros, but I already had to pay 100 euros throughout the month for the light bill, and so that's why it's quite different. I don't know if it makes sense how I'm explaining things, because it's quite hard for me. I hope you're understanding it, but basically this is to see how much I have at the beginning and at the end of the month in each single category. Let's call these categories, so it's gonna be easier. And in this one instead, how much I've actually put away during the month. Then I have a page for the outcome, so how much money I spent basically, and this is more details. Basically here I'm gonna write the description, so whatever I bought, for example, how much I've spent, the type of payment, so if I paid with a credit card, with yes, with which one, and so goes on. And then I have these 4 letters, which basically are this. I did this and I like to have this every single month just to not have an idea. So we're talking about bills, subscriptions, online stores and physical stores. In this way, when at the end of the month I have to fill in the yearly pages, it's easier to see how much I've spent in each single category. It's not like having to go through the whole list and then thinking, okay, this I have to put under in the bills, this was, for example, a physical store, and so goes on. So it's quite easy, but it's mainly there to be able to fill in the Hilly pages faster, I would say. Then there is the last page for the month, which is the income. In this case I have the description, how much, and the type of payment. So if for example, I get 100 euros, but I don't know if I get paid in cash or through PayPal or through a credit card, I mean, whatever, it's gonna be written here. And this is quite simple. I don't know if it's gonna be different throughout the year, if something is gonna change or not. For the moment, this is what it is. So this, I will not show you the other months because they're exactly the same, so it's quite pointless. I repeat myself, I don't know if something is gonna change or not throughout the year because it's the first time I've done something like this. And this is it. I hope that you're more than able to understand something from what I've tried to explain. I know I'm not the best when it comes to explaining these things. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them and I'll try the best I can to answer. How much will you use this thing? Could be a good question, and the answer is if you have a job and you get paid once a month, and so it's not like you get paid daily, then probably you will not open this journal that much, or this planner, call it however you want to. Probably you just open it a little much, especially for writing how much you've spent and for what. But elsewhere, all these other pages is not like you'll have to fill them in daily. Instead, you're probably gonna use it more, so maybe not daily, but once a week for all the pages, almost, not this one for sure, because you fill this at the beginning and the end of the month. But if you get paid, for example, daily, you can decide to do that once a week. So I don't know yet how much I'll use this one, so how much time, probably sounds better, I'm gonna spend with this one, but I really wanted something that was different from what I've had so far, because I needed something more, and this is why this one was born. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumb up and remember to subscribe for more videos. I want you to know if you have something like this or not. I know that there are some, I would say exactly some planner which are for this and are already pre-made, but they weren't what I was looking for, they weren't good for me, and so that's why I created one from zero basically. Let me know if you have anything like this, if yes, if you use it or not, if you're planning on creating one. As always, thank you so much for watching this video and for joining me today. See you next time. Bye!